let me ask the big question of what are cryptocurrency exchanges and what's Coinbase?
Coinbase is a cryptocurrency exchange, brokerage, custodian. Basically, we're the primary financial account for people in the crypto economy, how they buy crypto, how they store it, how they use it increasingly in different ways. We can talk about that. So yeah, we want to be the way that 1 billion people hopefully access the open financial system globally.
How does it work? What's cryptocurrency? You know, there's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum. What does it mean to be an exchange? What does it mean to store? What does it mean to transact? What does Coinbase actually do?
Okay, so, basically in any given market, there's some people who want to buy, some people who want to sell, and you keep an order book of all those prices. And then, if someone's willing to buy for more than the lowest price someone is willing to sell, then, you get a trade to execute. That's kind of how an exchange works underneath. And a brokerage is kind of simpler than that even. You don't have to look at the whole order book and everything, but you just go in there and you say, I want to buy $100 of Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency. You get a quote, and if you like it, you can hit accept. And, the core things that we do to make all that kind of just work, make it seamless, it sounds simple on the surface, is we have to do payment integrations, in a variety of places around the world to make it easy for people to get fiat currency into this ecosystem. We have to work on cybersecurity a lot. There's lots of hackers out there trying to break into our systems and steal crypto, or to put stolen credit cards and bank accounts and things like that into these systems. We have to integrate with the blockchains themselves, right? Which are periodically getting updated and having various airdrops and all kinds of things. So we're integrated with lots of different blockchains. And then we have to store the crypto that people buy securely as well. So crypto is kind of like you store the private keys, essentially. And we've invented a lot of cool technology about how to do that securely that helps me sleep at night as one of the largest crypto custodians out there. So those are some of the pieces that had to come together to get that early, simple buy-sell experience to work. And Coinbase actually has a lot of different products now. So we have like an institutional product. We have Coinbase Commerce, which is like merchant payments, like Stripe for crypto. We've got a self-custodial wallet, which we can talk about. There's all kinds of cool applications people are building with Web3, and they can access it through that. We just launched an NFT product. I can go on down the list. So we're sort of like a portfolio of crypto products now. We're big enough where we can do multiple things. But yeah, the core thing we got started with, and still the majority of our revenue today, is people just want to come in and buy and sell some crypto, and we help them do that and make it simple and easy to use.
And I'll ask you about wallet, NFTs, about what is it called? The Stripe type?
Oh, yeah, Coinbase Commerce.
Coinbase Commerce.
Yeah.
I'll ask you about all that. But order books and exchange, what's the difference between that and stocks, for example, which there's also order books?
Yes, stocks trade through order books too. So do commodities.
It's all similar type of situation. So when I want to buy one Bitcoin and I see Coinbase say the price of that Bitcoin is, say, $40,000, and I press buy, what happens?
Yeah. Okay. So you've gotten a lot, like, when you press the button on your keyboard, like an electrical signal goes up the wire on your keyboard. No, we won't go that low level.
Well, that's also important, the timing, right? Because it's not price fixed.
Yeah, that's true. It's giving you a quote, right? That's there's a whole concept of like slippage, and like by the time the quote is executed, if the price has moved too much, like we may reject it, and there's various things like that. But what's the simple version I can give you? So we'll basically check the order book, give you a quote. It's good for some period of time or for some amount of slippage, and then what's happening is we're initiating a debit to your payment method, whether that's a credit card or a bank account, or you're storing dollars or euros or something on our platform. There's various payment methods, so we're basically debiting that, and then we're crediting you the crypto. And we're taking a fee for it too. So that's fundamentally what's happening underneath. We wanted to just keep it math simple. We want to charge a 1% fee. So if you're buying $100 of Bitcoin, and we'll charge you $101, we've presented you the amount of Bitcoin you're going to get for the $100. Now, let's say 10 seconds later you hit accept. We go to fill the order.
So just let's use Bitcoin as a measure of time. You started Coinbase when Bitcoin was $10.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned an incredible system with security, with transactions. everything is thought through. There's a lot going on. But what was version 1 back in those early days? The first prototype of Coinbase. What did that look like?
Yeah.
Like what did it take to write it, to think through it, and make it work enough to at least make you believe that it's going to work?
Well, I definitely didn't know if it was going to work. I mean, it was kind of, I felt like I was just following my gut. So, I mean, I was working at Airbnb. I was a software engineer there, project manager. I was working on some fraud prevention stuff, for instance. And I read the Bitcoin white paper in kind of December of 2010. I started going to some Bitcoin meetups in the Bay Area, met lots of interesting people there, like crazy people, anarchists, like really brilliant people, all the above. And so I started nights and weekends trying to put together a prototype. And my initial thought was, well, SMTP is a protocol that runs email, and Git is a protocol for version control but people made like Gmail and GitHub. Most people don't want to run their own email server or even their own Git server. They just want to like use a hosted thing that will do all the security and backups for them. So the thought in my head at that time was, Bitcoin's this new protocol. There's probably going to be somebody who makes a hosted service that does all the security and backups for you, makes Bitcoin as a protocol easy to use. So maybe I should make like a hosted Bitcoin wallet or something. That was it was going to make Gmail for Bitcoin or something. And a bunch of people told me that was a bad idea. Like most of my smart friends who I told about it, they were like, well, first of all, I don't really get what you're doing at all. Like Bitcoin sounds like a scam or something you've gotten involved in. But then other people who understood what Bitcoin was told me they thought it was a dumb idea, because they're like, dude, if you store all this Bitcoin, you're just going to get hacked. Like nobody, why would you do that? And so I kind of had this thought, like, you know what? I'm not going to go all in and like store everyone's Bitcoin. That would be too much right now. I have a job. I have a day job, but let me just make a prototype, and I'll tell people this is like a beta thing. Like, don't put any real money in it, and just see if there's interest. And if I feel like I'm onto something, maybe I'll go do this as a company. Because I really wanted to be an entrepreneur at that time. I was 29. I was almost turning 30, and I always wanted to like start a company, but I wasn't yet. I was an employee at a company that was great. But so anyway, I had this prototype I was hacking together nights and weekends. I actually wrote a whole Bitcoin node in Ruby, which turned out to be maybe a weird decision in hindsight, because Ruby wasn't the most performant language. We've subsequently had to rebuild that many times. But yeah, I had this hosted Bitcoin wallet, and the thing that I didn't have any users for it, by the way. I applied to Y Combinator because I was like, maybe if somebody there writes me a check, this will like make it feel like a real company. And I was trying to find a co-founder at that time, unsuccessfully. So I was basically just wandering in the desert. I had a lot of self-doubt about this, because I was like, I don't know, all my friends think this is kind of dumb, and maybe Bitcoin is just going to get shut down, and like this will all be some stupid thing. So there was definitely a feeling of just wandering, lost in the desert, lots of self-doubt. Paul Graham and the Y Combinator group kind of wrote me the first check after I went and interviewed and stuff, and they wrote me a check for like $150K. And that was the first time somebody who I really looked up to kind of said, this is worth pursuing. Like maybe you're onto something, maybe you're not, but like let's at least try it. And so that was kind of what gave me the confidence to quit my job and try it. And I'll wrap the story here by saying that like I found the right co-founder after Y Combinator. We still didn't have any customers. The thing that I basically launched the hosted Bitcoin wallet. There were people signing up. I just posted on Reddit and places like that. And, maybe like 100 people would sign up. So I emailed like 5 of the users that had signed up. And I was like, hey, I worked on this app. I saw you signed up. Can I get on the phone with you? I get on the phone with like 5 of these folks. And I was like, why didn't you come back? And the guy was like, well, the app was okay for a beta, but like I don't have any Bitcoin, so I didn't really know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. And I remember this light bulb kind of went off in my head. I was like, well, if I put a buy Bitcoin, and the minute we launched that feature where you could just click buy, put in your bank account or credit card, buy Bitcoin, it showed up in your account. From that day forward, like the number of users started to go up like this. And so we finally had found product market fit after 2 years of wandering in the desert.